today I want to talk to you about the clean girl aesthetic, specifically the dangers of a clean girl aesthetic. Now, the clean girl aesthetic is this sleek, very clean looking aesthetic. It looks like someone who's super put together, who's really organized, who does Pilates in the morning, who has a schedule, and who has their life together at a very big level. Now, I've seen a lot of people talk about the controversy with the clean girl aesthetic and why it's dangerous. And a lot of the views I see as to why it's dangerous is that it's unrealistic, or it holds an unrealistically high standard for your life, for your day. Now, I think the clean girl aesthetic is dangerous, but not for this reason. It's actually very good to have aspirational role models or people that bring you up. The thought of having your life together and having some sort of routine and structure and aesthetic looking life is not a bad thing. In fact, it's good to see people live like that. That's a really incredible thing. An example of a way of life, if that is interesting for you. So I'm not mad at the clean girl aesthetic for being super put together and really on top of it. I actually think that's amazing. It's something that inspires me, and sometimes, again, like aspirational figures, if you will, kind of help bring you up. They show you an ideal of what a certain life might look like, and you may actually want that, and that's nothing to be bitter about. Now, the reason the clean girl aesthetic is dangerous to me is because it's a very small, boxed in way of being put together. So when the whole clean girl aesthetic thing got pushed, I started to really believe like the only way that you could be put together and have your life together and be organized was if you dressed the way the clean girls dressed, if you wore the whole slicked back fun situation. That was the only way that your life could be put together and be going places. So I kind of played into this. I did like little clean girl things, but not really. I've never been like super into the clean girl aesthetic. However, I was a little jealous. I was like, hold up, does my aesthetic not get that super put together, like, you've got your life together and on track kind of vibe? Like, am I missing out from that? And that's where the clean girl aesthetic goes wrong. It makes you identify being put together, have your life together, having a planner with just one aesthetic. The truth is, you can have your life together, you can have a planner, your life can be going places, and you can be looking like you're partying all night, you can be looking like your hair is a mess, you can be looking like, your bra's out. It doesn't matter what you look like. I know we associate a certain look with certain things, and that's boring. Let's get over the idea that having your life together means you have to dress a certain way or means you have to wear a certain aesthetic. That is old school mentality, and it's dead and it's done. You get to express yourself however you want, you get to dress however you want, you get to wear your hair however you most want, and this does not mean that you can't be put together. It doesn't mean that you can't have a cute breakfast bowl in the morning. It doesn't mean that you don't do Pilates. You don't have to be that aesthetic to mean that your life is going somewhere. And I know this probably sounds dramatic because it is, but I really feel like society does try to push like a certain look and a certain aesthetic with being clean and organized and put together. But the truth is, there are days that it looks like I've been smoking cigarettes out of a van for 24 hours. But guess what? I'm organized. I've got a schedule. I meditate. I've got a routine. I have really taken this idea of being put together, looking a certain way, or dressing a certain aesthetic and made it my own. It's very freeing to question this whole narrative that being put together only has one look or only has one way. And that if you do have a certain aesthetic and you like a certain vibe, it doesn't box you in to this creative personality type that is always running late, is always a mess, is always running behind on things, their place is a mess, dishes in the sink. You don't have to ascribe to any sort of traits that people might associate with your style. Again, that's boring, that's old school. We need to leave that behind. And I wanted to make this video because I had a small stint with this like around a year ago or so. I really tried to take on the whole clean girl aesthetic because I so badly wanted my life together. I wanted it organized, and I was so sick of where it was going. So I did. I sort of took on like the clean girl aesthetic in minor ways, in small ways. And I got my life together, but I did get my life together because of the clean girl aesthetic. I got my life together because I was determined to get my life together, but I got my style back to where I wanted it to be. And I realized that the reason I didn't feel like I could dress how I wanted during that stage where I wanted to revamp and get my life together was because I felt like it couldn't be done. I couldn't dress with the style and aesthetic that I wanted to and also be clean and also know where my money was going and also have a bank account that I checked every day. Before, I never checked that thing. I never associated dressing with freedom however you wanted with also having your life together. So if that's something that you're struggling with, the whole idea of like having your life together, having a certain look, just want to remind you that that is boring, that is old, and we are not bringing that into our lives in any way. You get to decide what hair is put together for you. You get to decide what outfits are put together for you. This does not mean you need to look clean or anything like that. It doesn't matter. You just need to look like yourself, and you still get to have your life together. Your life still gets to move forward no matter what style that you have. Anyway, that's all for me today. I am wishing you the very best week, and I'll see you very soon.